Preparing a diesel hammer for transport requires a few key steps to keep it secure and safe. We'll cover positioning the ram, locking the anvil retainer, and final tie-down techniques to make sure it's ready for the road.
All right, so we're gonna go load this thing on the truck
Right.
so we can get it to a job site and they can start driving pile and making money and building bridges, right?
Okay.
Okay. So when we know we're gonna load this thing out, there's a couple of things we need to be looking out for, right?
Yes, sir.
We need to make sure that this trip assembly, right, is in this location.
Okay.
Right around that fuel pump, right, is about where it's gonna be on the top of your lifting lugs.
Yes, sir.
Right? If it's all the way at the bottom, the hook can be folded out.
Okay.
Right? This is the best, safest way for your trip to be in position when you're loading it up.
I got it.
Okay. So make sure your trip is in about this general area.
Okay.
Right. Before you go to set it down on the truck, you can put your blocking and things like that underneath that trip, and everything will be held up firmly, and you won't have to worry about bending any rails or anything like that.
Okay.
Right. We want to make sure that we've got our fuel and our lube plug in, and that we're not draining. Right. Okay. Then we want to look at our ram stop. Now this is a very, very key component to transportation. If you do not put that ram stop in, this driver's running down the highway and he's got to lock those brakes up because Miss Jenny and her 5 kids almost hit a deer, right? This ram could slide right out of here. Next thing you know, it's in through his headache rack on his truck and sitting in the cab with him, right?
Okay.
Right. That's
Bad
not
day.
good. That's bad day. Bad day for him, bad day for the emergency response people, insurance, everybody. So we have got to make sure we've got this ram stop in and installed and it's run down to the correct position.
Okay.
Right before we go to load this out.
Okay.
So ram stop, then down at the bottom you have your anvil retainer. Okay. Your anvil retainer is very important to have in place because that's what's going to make sure your ram stop is in the proper position.
I got you. Okay.
So with your anvil retainer off, you would want to push your anvil in to this position where it's contacting your damper ring, then run your anvil retainer on, then that's locked in position.
Okay.
Right? When you have that in the proper position and you know your trip is not connected to your ram, your hook is out, it's disengaged, your trip is in the proper place, then it's time to install your ram stop.
Okay.
Right? And that ram stop, when we looked at that ram, you saw where we had our lifting ledge.
Yes.
Right? And above that lifting ledge, it made kind of a taper.
Yes.
Into the ram. That's what that ram stop is capturing.
I see. Okay.
Right? So it won't allow it to move
Right.
and roll out the top. Right? But you've got to have the anvil retainer in and installed with your ram all the way down to make sure that it is in the proper seated position.
Okay.
Okay? Now when he's tying down on the truck, okay, you want to make sure you're using lifting lugs, right?
Okay.
That he's going through, any position that you would, if you look across the hammer, right? We can lift
sir.
from here.
Yes, sir.
We can lift from here, here, and here, right? If that truck driver is locking down and then running his chains through those lifting positions,
Sure.
then he'll be able to safely lock that load down to the truck
Okay.
without it moving around.
Okay.
We just need to make sure he's not going to throw them across my hoses,
Right.
things like that are going to cause guys like us to have to do a bunch of work.
Of
right?
course. Right.
We already got enough to do.
Absolutely.
With the ram secured, anvil retainer locked, and tie downs checked, your hammer is set for safe transport. Each step helps protect your equipment so it arrives in top shape, ready for the next job.